So Puerto Vallarta is embroiled in flames and conflict because apparently some big cartel head honcho was killed, and then the cartels have reacted and retaliated in violence and setting things on fire. And tourists and residents are caught in the crossfire, being in lockdown. And of course, this has reignited the debate on drug policy and what the government ought to do, et cetera. And of course, predictably, you've got the people on the right wing, Trump supporters, the MAGA crowd saying Trump needs to go in with military force and crush the cartels once and for all and put a stop to this. Well, here's my perspective. You could literally press a button and kill every single person involved in the drug trade, and you'd be in the same exact spot this time next year. Sure, you might be able to temporarily slow down operations, but it's really like trying to wrap a hand grenade in duct tape. You can't stop it. You cannot cork up demand which exists in the economy. What is driving this entire thing? It's not the cartels. Everybody loves to demonize cartels. And yeah, some of those people are absolutely horrifying human beings. I don't know if you're like me and you watch some of this stuff out of morbid curiosity, hacking people's arms off and executing them. And it's just god-awful, horrible stuff. And I don't condone any of that. But why is there violence in the drug trade to begin with? And why do cartels exist in the first place? It's because it's a highly profitable industry, because it's illegal. The entire problem is literally because drugs are illegal in the first place. People view drug prohibition as the solution or an attempt at a solution, but it is literally the whole and entire problem. Why don't you see violence surrounding the alcohol trade in the United States? Because there was a hell of a lot of violence in the 30s during alcohol prohibition. People were being killed. It was a bloody and uncomfortable time, right? But guess what? People were still drinking alcohol. Just like today, people are still getting drugs. You can't even keep drugs out of prison. So, you can have as much righteous indignation as you want. Drugs are bad. We got to stop drugs. Okay, fine. You can be upset about it, but all you're succeeding in doing is lighting money on fire and guaranteeing that a lot of people die really horrible deaths. I would highly recommend that you watch the show on Netflix called Narcos. And sure, there's going to be some, embellishment, but generally speaking, what you observe is that, the government is in cahoots with the cartel. People are being paid off left and right, from low-level cops to high-level politicians. And the whole thing is an absolute mess that you cannot possibly ever decapitate. You can try all day long. Again, I implore you, come up with a magic button to delete everybody involved in the drug trade. You can't get rid of it. The demand exists. This is how economics works. So yeah, it may be a regrettable thing. I don't like drugs. I don't do drugs. I drink alcohol, let's say sparingly, and I enjoy it and I can control myself. And a lot of people can't control themselves, and alcohol totally ruins and consumes their lives. And the same is true of drugs. And that's an unfortunate reality of the human experience, is that humans are subject to things like temptation and addiction and downfall. And yeah, that sucks. But, you're really barking up the wrong tree if you think making it illegal is going to solve anything. At what point do we look at the data and say, hey guys, this has actually been nothing more than an enormous failure? If drugs become decriminalized, now drugs can actually be bought and sold and marketed on the open market, where there can be actual free flow of information and things can be done safely. And most importantly, you're not going to have people getting their arms and their heads chopped off over turf conflicts, because the same reason you don't see that with alcohol. So yeah, it's very tempting to say we need to bomb these people out of existence, but it's not going to accomplish a damn thing other than a lot of human suffering needlessly.